Okay, we are live. Welcome to episode 3. Today we are gonna talk about the common misconceptions about boxing. So
Yes.
hopefully Lucas can educate us, those who are not too sure and who are looking to get into the sport of boxing. So the first is obviously the most natural thing that comes to your mind when you start boxing is sparring, right? So I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of
Mm.
people are afraid of meeting bigger and taller opponents. So the first misconception on this list is the stronger you are, the harder you hit. Is that true?
Oh. Okay. I feel like people always like back to your point, the stronger you are, the harder you hit, right? Is is definitely like let me debunk it for you, lah. If that's how you think, then you're wrong, lah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Cause cause you okay, do you I think it's not I don't really need to say it for you to understand what how's it to understand it lah. Like if you look at boxers, right, you don't normally see people who are jacked up in like like who are very big size and like almost like as though they are using steroids lah, that kind of thing. Like
Street boxers are really huge though.
mainstream boxers are can be huge in a sense where like you don't really know what they're pumping in also. You don't know what they're doing, like that kind of thing. But maybe you need to see it in a like amateur boxer like level, like in a Singaporean context. I'm saying in a Singaporean context where like the general uh you don't really need to be uh need to lift weights to punch hard. I think that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Because the general misconception about boxing is really like, when you go into those punching machines at the arcade or whatever, you try and use your arm strength to generate power. But in reality, right, the power of your punches, I always tell this to my members at my gym. I always tell this to my members, like the power of your punches, right, they are actually coming from your legs. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
So so you generate power from your legs from the ground up, and then you use your torque, your rotation to really like bring in the punch, you know. But actually, right, I also want to go back like to the point where you say strength equals strong punches, or like big equals strong punches. There is a certain, like, you can actually agree to a certain extent, in a sense that not so much so when it comes to your punches where strength matters. It's more of positioning. When it comes to positioning in a sparring context, being big, right, means that you can't be moved. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if you are big sized, it's harder for you to move to be moved, in a sense where, in boxing, you're not just gonna stand there rock'em sock'em robots like punch at each other, right? You're gonna be constantly moving, pivoting, trying to get the center ring, trying to fight for the center position. Like if the opponent is so big, right, against you, right, you're gonna need to think of different strategies to be able to score points against the big guy, right? But that doesn't mean that if you're a smaller boxer, your punches are not powerful, right? Like I said, it comes from your feet.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we have an article on that, by the way. If you're aspiring against a larger, taller opponent, check it out.
Mm,
Anyway,
yeah.
let's go to misconception number 2. There are ideal body types for boxing. Is that true or not?
Ooh. Okay, I think, right, when it comes to ideal body types, right, is when it, like, especially for beginners, like at the entry level, when you start to spar, you start to realize that body types actually do matter. Yeah. It's only until the professional, maybe when you're more experienced, right, that you start to realize that the playing field is more even, though. It's more leveled. Yeah. Because, like, I think one of the biggest struggles that first time that first time boxers face when they spar is to spar against taller opponents. Yeah. So clearly, right, the main concept of boxing is to hit and get and not get hit, right? Right, you get what I mean?
Yep, yep.
So it by nature, biologically speaking, right? If let's say I'm so tall, and my arms are longer, right? My arms are longer than my opponent. Whose punch is gonna land first? Definitely the taller guy or like the guy with the longer reach, right? So it's how to say, it does matter when it comes to body type does matter lah in boxing. It's just that it's up to the person who is at a disadvantage to think out of the box or to find a strategy to work around this. Yeah.
You can make it up with technique, lah, basically.
Correct. You can make it out with technique. Like, but I'm not saying that genetics don't play a part. If you have a long reach, right? Or if let's say you're built like a tank, right? If let's say you have hard, your bone density is very hard, wow, bro, that plays a different that plays a difference, basically.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, with every other sports, same thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the third misconception is actually getting hit to your head hurts, but it doesn't really make sense to me. So let me just, pose this question to you. Would you rather get hit on your head or your liver, ribs, and kidney?
Oh my gosh, this sounding like those like what do you call it? Like those torturing kind of question,
Yeah.
torture chamber kind of question. Okay, I would, to be honest, right, I would rather get hit in my kidney. Not kidney. Did I say kidney? Sorry, I rather get hit with a liver blow. Uh, Reason being, right, I'm more afraid of how to say, not really afraid, but more of like the repercussions are, of course, you see, we can talk about boxing, right? But boxing is still like a combat sport lah, right? Let's be real. You
Yeah.
can still get hurt lah, huh? Like but I like to think that, is in the long term, right, getting hit in your liver may be a better option over getting hit like with a hard punch on the head. Yeah.
Mm. And
Yeah, I'm not
also,
saying that not bad lah. Yeah, sorry.
no, and
Yep.
and also, if you're looking to get into boxing, you don't have to fear, getting hit and all these things. Uh, you don't have to set boundaries, right? When you spar.
Ooh, setting okay, the thing about sparring and setting boundaries, right? Even this one can be a misconception, where okay, it's a very funny joke lah. Not really yeah, it's kind of funny saying lah.
Mm.
In boxing lah, in any sparring, in any combat sports they always say that like the biggest lie in boxing, right, is light sparring.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Because
Okay.
sparring can escalate lah, and you need to. There's even like a level of etiquette when it comes to sparring, where if you don't want people to hit hard, right, hit you hard, you I know, if you want to hit people hard, don't expect people to hit you lighter. Does it
Yeah,
make sense?
you give, you take.
You give, you take, correct. You give, you take. That is the biggest like etiquette, form of etiquette. If you want to go hard, right, expect to receive hard punches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And I think going back to like the part where you say like where you mention like that you know receiving pain or like getting hit is like how to say, where getting hit is normal. I would say like for beginners, right, those who are starting out, right, your first liver shot is going to be hell, right? It's going to be a pain you never felt before. Even shots to your head gonna be very like, it's gonna discourage you, definitely.
Yeah, it's a friend that teaches you to keep your gut, right?
Yeah, they're more of like tough lessons like that test your will as well, that test your level of and perseverance lah. The famous saying from the Rocky series, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, well
Yeah,
said.
that is really what what was preached, right, is really applicable in real life lah. It really the same. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
So this kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
brings us to the fifth misconception, something that I personally felt. This fifth misconception is boxers only box. When I was doing PT with you, I
Yeah.
genuinely thought that boxing is really just mostly arms. But as I got into it, the feet, the way you turn, the way you pivot,
Mm.
it's insane.
Mm.
It's not a natural movement at all. It's something that you really have to put in hard work to learn the little technicalities of it. So boxing
Yes.
box, I think that's an easy debunk, right?
Yes, it's an easy debunk. It's like any boxing gym that you go to, right? Any reputable boxing gym, right? Will always preach two things lah, I would say. Two things that I always tend to hear. One is your footwork, right? One is like your footwork comes before learning to move before learning to punch, right? Anyone can punch, but whether you can move to position and punch. That's what we always do with our fundamental classes as well. When we teach boxing. Yeah, like I think that's one. Two, right, is got to do with like learning like your punches. Like when you learn your punches, right, the first punch that you have to perfect, right, is always perfect mastering the jab. Yeah, the jab is your most important punch in boxing, hands down. Hands down. No one can argue this. Like no one can argue against it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
often
foot
the
yeah.
simplest things that end up the most important.
It's really yeah, I really cannot emphasize footwork. I can't emphasize it enough lah. Footwork is very, very important when it comes to boxing. That's why even for warm up, right, we tend to do like skipping rope, right? We do jump rope to warm up. Like yeah, it helps with your coordination of the feet as well as staying on the balls of your feet, which is usually your stance in amateur boxing. You are never on you're never on the heel. You're always on the balls of your feet, constantly moving. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Yep.
So
Mm.
this is our last misconception. It's
Mm.
more of like a personality thing,
Mm.
I'm
Mm.
not
Mm.
mean enough to be a boxer. And I understand
Oh.
this because coming
Yeah.
from combat sports, there will come a time where you first hit someone, or you first uh, put all your strength into a punch.
Mm.
And that can be daunting for the first timer. So, walk us through that.
An analogy will help to illustrate this. Do you know like the whole saying where you work is work, play is play? So I think you can actually put it in a boxing context where when it comes to fighting, right, or sparring, you take it seriously. You don't you try your best to take it as seriously as possible, right? Like don't give like don't the things of like saying like, oh, give chance, give chance. The give chance part, right? When it comes to beginners, right, sparring with maybe someone new, is the only variable that changes is the power. But that doesn't mean, right, you are throwing sloppy punches at your beginner friend, or you're letting it you're making it easy for them. No, no, no. You're only reducing your power. The technique stays the same. All right. That's how I see it. Work is work, play is play. Yeah. And the same thing applies to the fight lah. Your opponent can be your friend. I fought my friends before. Like we were we shared the ring lah, basically. And we are definitely friends on the outside of the ring. But in the ring, right, I also have this mentality where I have to give it my all. I that nothing like nothing uh can affect what I like how I box in the ring.
Yeah, anything less would be an insult to your opponent anyway.
Correct. I have to give it my all. I cannot I cannot give mercy like in that sense, because it's very disrespectful. Like it means that I don't acknowledge you. I don't think you are giving your best. That's why I'm not giving my best. Cannot be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of the ring, you can be friends. Inside, right, is whoever's the better fighter already. Yeah.
Yeah, well said, well said.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So that's good. I think that wraps up this episode. We'll go back to the second last point, the second last misconception, and
Mm,
we will discuss about keeping it simple in the next episode. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.
yeah. See
See
you
you.
guys.